This is Life Diary #3, I think. I'm enjoying this Life Diary series. It does allow me to express myself, and this is going to be what I'm going to do. So there's a lot to talk about, quite a bit. It's been a week, and it's been mostly a kind of distant week, emotionally, mentally, physically, in every way. It's been very distant. And there's been a lot of realizations and some very interesting conclusions of various natures, and and it's going to be hard to get them all out, I guess, to sort of talk about some of them. But what I really want to talk about right now is probably the most important one. Now, in the past, I had declared myself a INTP from the Myers-Briggs personality test, and actually I've come to the realization that I'm an extrovert. Now, people might be going, "What? How could you be an extrovert? You hate people." You got to understand where I'm coming from. How I am an extrovert. I'm an extrovert in my want and desire, my need to provoke imagination or provoke experiences onto other people. I've never really been, and I've also been interested in myself as well, actually, to be honest. So I'm kind of like an ambivert in that way, isn't it? Like, I would spend like months and months, if required. If I had the right resources, I wanted to do it, I would spend months and months, literally, like trying to design some kind of an idea that would provoke a mind into these ways I hope to do in the future, and to really bring people to a world that is very, maybe it's heard of a lot, but most people don't really understand its profanity, its amazing qualities. Is profanity the right word? Probably, in a way. Maybe not. No, profanity can kind of be used in a sensational way. Anyways, so yeah, and which you might be going, well, then why did you make INTP videos? I'm sure none of you are doing that, but for the very few that might do that, well, I could be considered an INTP somewhat. Now, I don't usually follow like philosophy as close as hardcore INTPs do. I much prefer to look for inspiration and then make my own idea out of that, or I will literally just come up with something from my memories. But everyone is coming up stuff. You never, like, whenever you make an idea, you're never it's never not coming from something. It has to come from somewhere, and that is your memories. So Apple software update. I don't give a shit. I don't use Apple software very often. I really want to get Mac though, but that's all different topic. I just hate Windows. Anyways, so yeah, and that's just an interesting thing that I can come across as introverted in some cases, but generally speaking, I do have a need to talk to people, to understand their brain. From time to time, I have to talk to people to understand their brain. Well, I don't always have to talk to them. Actually, I don't have to talk to them at all in some cases, but I do have to clarify with people sometimes. Yeah, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. And sometimes I just clarify just to make sure it's complete. So, yeah, that's just the thing. So, yeah, I am a ENTP in the Myers-Briggs personality test in the HFP, my energetic typology system, or system, I guess. I am radiant energy, or in a human construction. So I'm a human with a brain with electrical fields that are acting very close to the laws of radiant energy, which means I have to reflect myself onto other people. Do you see what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do, is that I feel like that when I'm just looking around, I just feel like, oh, I wish I could put that onto people. I wish I could put that onto people, and I really do feel like that. all the fucking time. I want to do it to such extensively, staggeringly brilliant, exalted ways. I don't know, that's not even... staggeringly diverse ways. Or dramatic diverse ways might be more... dramatic is like the bare bone of it, it's not really the core of it. The definitive diversity, that's how much I want to do. I want to do it to definitive diversity. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. And that's what I want to do. So it's just weird because for the longest time I thought I was an introvert, and I'd have listened to, read things from ENTPs like Leonardo da Vinci, and and I just felt such a similarity to him, but I just sort of blew it off because I was like, yeah, well, he's an extrovert and he likes to talk to people, and then I it didn't register in my head, very much that, I also kind of like to talk to people in some respects, which is kind of a contradictory to something I'm going to talk about in a minute. So that's probably one of the main uses. So yeah, I am someone who likes to provoke people extensively. I love doing it. Or I don't like to use the word love, but love is a stupid thing. It doesn't actually exist. It's just similarity, attraction. It's just an emotional response to how similar you are. So it's easy for you to detect, oh, well, they're similar to me, so I'm naturally going to want to open myself up to them more and express more of myself. So when we're in love, we're just expressing more of what we already are, if you know what I mean. This is called, expressing what we're already feeling in a more extensive way. That's what it is. It's quite complicated, but actually quite simple. It's just hard to grasp for some. And you can kind of see it in my mannerisms, and if you look at other extroverts that are, or other ENTPs, and you compare them to me as an ENTP, you can see the similarities. The weird, sort of eye thing, the dramaticness, the articulate flow of things, the possibilities. I see possibilities so much that I don't even have to really think about it. I can just go to it whenever I want. Usually, sometimes I have to rewind my mind if I'm talking to people, because it's a whole different framework. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just gonna check the camera to see how long I've been talking for, because I've got a lot to talk about, and I don't really want to split this. Well, I wouldn't mind. I don't give a shit about splitting up this, but I want to keep life diary into one videos, but that's why I need to get a better camera, so I can do 1 hour life diaries, not 25-minute ones. Anyways, so that's one of the big things. So what am I going to do about this? Well, I'd go into the next thing because it will kind of make sense. So now that I realise this, there's this whole thing with just talking. I know you're like, what? You just said you like talking, and you're just about to say this. When I say I want to provoke things in people, I can talk. I know how to ask questions and sort of carry on a conversation to some extent, depending on how hard the words are, how unknown the words are to me. So if I knew all the English words, which is something I still struggle with to this day, it would be very easy for me to have conversations with people to some extent. Although I would, about 75% sure on that one. But the thing is, I just find, how would I describe this? I find neurons to be extremely irritating and extremely fascinating. Actually, I don't find them that fascinating, actually, to some extent. Sometimes, in rare cases, like when something amazing happens, like how the hell did someone come up with that? That kind of thing. Then it's alright, but just generally I don't like neurons. So when I'm around other people, I do like to provoke neurons. That's a whole different thing. But when it comes to actually socializing with neurons, it's a very diminishing return experience for me. Most people don't even want to talk about the things I want to talk about, and most people aren't very see, the thing about an ENTP, and I think some people can learn from this, or I'm just going to call them people imaginators, because that's what we are. We go to people to put imagination into them, kind of thing, or experiences into them, I would say, actually. So people experiencers and then mind experiencers, probably something that might be more accurate than imaginators, because yeah, I think I'm going to change that, because that's what we really are. We're really experiencers. We're not, So yeah, I'll probably change. Yeah, that sounds very correct. Anyways, what's happening is we want to be fictional characters. Now that's like crazy to talk to some people, but you're like, what? Everyone wants to be a fictional character. Yes, I get that, but we really want to make it happen. Do you see what I'm saying? We really want to say, and I'm not saying I want, I wouldn't mind seeing cartoon characters or something, but I'm not really interested in Marvel that much. I mean, I can watch it and probably find it really good and interesting, all that kind of shit, but I don't generally appease to it. I'm looking for the more realistic fictional characters, the people who want to put it into real life and still do it, and actually do it, that kind of thing. Trying to bring magic to reality, kind of thing. That's what I'm fascinated by. And some people might not see that when they're around me, because I'm sitting on the computer every day, getting very annoyed at a computer screen, but they're not, they're not looking in my mind, they're not looking at all my ideas, they're not looking at my future plans, all this sort of things, they're not, and, yeah. So that's what we are trying to do, and, when you're talking to someone and they're not like that, and you're like, why are you not like that? It doesn't make sense to us, because we're just like, this is like the best thing possible. How could you not want to be like this? And it's funny, I think they do want to be like it, but they don't know how to be like it, and we do, and that's the thing that's really annoying when talking. So you kind of have to like teach people how to be like one, or you just say, sorry, I'm limiting you to these certain access points, and anything else, is going to be difficult to get unless I change my personality up, which is a whole different thing that I'm looking into. Like, how can I alter my, electrical fields in my brain, electrical field, or is it fields, whichever, to have this ability to change my personality so that I can be accustomed to any situation. But there's a lot of difficulties with that, and that is want and desire. You kind of have to have a want and desire for each personality that there is, or actually I would call them energetic types. Each energetic type has its own burdens, benefits, blah 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 blah, and you have to be in the right situations to see the benefits of it, and then take it on board, kind of thing. And then sometimes people will take it for the rest of their life, and some people won't. But I'm trying to change that in my way of thinking, in that I want to be able to do any personality type, but it's just taken me a while to get that. I haven't really had time to really spend, I haven't had time to spend on that really, so I don't know if I ever will get to it, but I hope so. So there's that. Now I'm aware it's like just after Christmas, blah blah blah. Happy New Year, everyone. I was going to wear the Santa hat that we got, but unfortunately, I'm probably going to make a video with the Santa hat. 2 videos actually, but that's a whole different topic. And one of them is going to be with me with the Santa hat. But the problem is, the Santa hat has unfortunately I bought the wrong hat, or not the wrong hat. Well, yeah, technically I bought the wrong hat because it didn't have everything I wanted, and it had one tiny little non-vegan part on it, which I really hate. And I'm tempted to just cut the feet off and put them back into the ground. I'm so pissed off with it. So I'm not sure if I want to be wearing that. But because I don't agree with it, I don't accept it, all that kind of shit, and I made a mistake of buying it and didn't look at the bloody ingredients. So that was one problem that I'm having with that. So I'm not sure what to do about that. So I might just make. I might still make a video, but I might just put a disclaimer in there somewhere. Anyways, that's basically it. So that's sort of been my issue with just people in general, is that I'm just not really interested in the conversation. I'm just interested in how we can, be magical, in some respects, without it being, stupid, to some extent. there's exceptions, and that's just one of the difficulties I've been experiencing. Other than that, though, you know, and if people don't think I'm a vegan, then look, this came from vegan society, and I didn't just buy this for, you know, oh look, I got this from vegan society, so that means that, you know, yeah, I'm a vegan because I've only got this, and I only eat potatoes and tofu and the vitamins. That's all I'm eating right now. So just, you know, anyways. So I'm just gonna check the freaking thing. Sorry, I'm just gonna check the thing. Okay, I've got like 10 minutes to go. So that brings me to the next thing, and that is, well, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with other people? Because I do have an open relationship girlfriend now, but I'm open to more, believe it or not, because I don't really consider girlfriends in the way that other people might. I consider them more like research partners with some, you know, well, maybe not research partners, maybe something more than that. Just someone who's experience partners. There you go. I think that's more accurate. I'm looking for an experience partner. Many actually, because obviously I want to see the experiences from different angles, etc., etc. And so yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just looking for more experienced partners, people who I can have experiences with within my comfort because of my disorders and things like that. And that's, you know, pretty interesting problem. Not many people probably have this issue. Maybe like 30% of the world, maybe 25%, maybe even 15%, maybe 5%, maybe 5%. It feels like it's 5%. Anyways, so yeah, that's where that is at the moment. So I'm just sort of like, there's some new people recently on the horizon here that have messaged me on older videos who may be potential experienced partners, I'm hoping. I would mention their names. Well, it's actually only one person, but I'm keeping it on the down low until anything serious happens, just for their benefit, and I couldn't give a shit personally, but I'm doing it for their benefit. So yeah, that's that really. And then, okay, so the next next problems I've had, or things I've realised, is that I'm actually kind of a cartoonophile. And I don't mean that in like I watch cartoons, I mean like intimately, which you might be like, what the fuck, you're intimate to cartoons? Wait a second. In a realistic way, that's what I mean. And I'm not saying I want people to be like Superman or Spider-Man or some bullshit like that. I'm saying I want people to be an idea of themselves, or represent themselves even in a more vivid way that could be considered, you know, in for some maybe like a cartoon character, or maybe better, a fictional character. Yeah, so like there's, you know, mind clarifiers, people clarifiers, mind positioners, people positioners, mind experiencers, people experiencers, you know, and when there's more of them, I want to see their fictional potential, so in a real way. So why would it be fictional? There's a fine line between truly impossible and naturally possible. People need to recognise that, but yeah. So that's what it is, and where I'm at with that, and that I really, and actually when I look at cartoons, I tend to feel like I'm more alive around that than I am with real people. It seems sometimes I don't connect to just generic people as a species very much generally. There are exceptions, and you know, it's just hard to come by, I guess. But yeah, that's one of my difficulties, being around people, because it's like I'm looking for, you know, some fictionality here, you know, some realistic fiction here, and I'm just getting the same old generic, boring, shitty people who don't have any understanding of what experiences are. So it's just annoying. So I hope to rectify that when I get my surgeries and I present myself in a more experienced kind of way, and people can, really appreciate what I'm about. I can't wait to get those surgeries. I can't tell you how badly I want the surgeries. Oh, I want them bad. I want them so bad. I want them so bad, so bad, so bad. For so many reasons. So many reasons. That's a whole different thing. So yeah. That's pretty much really all I've got to say. I mean, other than that, I've realised that women have a different sensational experience to men, obviously, but I didn't realise how different it was in some respects. But I'll be talking about that in my next sensational experience episode, or whatever I forget what it's called, because it's relatively new and I haven't done one in a while. Sensational exploration, yeah. So in my next sensational exploration video series, I will be talking about that. What else have I going on, really? I guess I've just been thinking about, just generically in my mind, how am I going to reach, a higher level of understanding, and to be honest, I've already got the answer. So, and if you don't know what it is, the answer to everything is the 16 energy laws, the 16 energetic type laws. And that, what I mean is that each energetic type has its own laws, and there's 16 energetic types, and each one has its own law. Do you see what I mean? Many laws, actually. And so I heard something upstairs. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how I can harness all those energetic laws, and figure out how to. I've talked about this before, though, actually, but how I can focus it in to one straight line, that or more, possibly, and be able to actually solve any problem that comes up to me, because so that's something I'm looking into, how to do that. But I've actually been looking into that thoroughly. I've just been thinking about those sort of things, not that exactly, but I've been thinking about higher level understanding, and just how other people can potentially do it better than me, and how I can potentially do it extremely better than them, to the point that they can't compete. That's, how do you get to that point, I don't even know if you can see me anymore. If I've come out of camera, I'm really irritated. And so that's basically where I'm at the moment, is that I'm just I guess I could talk about what I'm working on. I'm working on this table software that I've actually got quite far in, believe it or not, and hopefully I've still got time to talk. Hold on. Oh shit, no I don't. I've only got 2 minutes. Well, okay, I'll quickly talk about this, unfortunately. I'm working on table software with Java. I'm trying to build a table that will have a list of all my design labels on them. Design labels are just a term I use for designs that I've put into a label form and they're not fully finished yet. That's what I mean. And another thing I've been working on is a software for a feature that will be on the website when the Euphoria website's done, and that's something I'm working on. It's very tough, but that's what I've been working on. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thank you. Feel free to comment if you want to, and I will see you in my next video series. Next video of this series. Sorry, it's all new.